Hello, welcome to part 4. This is going to be Tom Carpenter's questions for Louis DeJoy. This is part of my post office situation series. So, this guy, he's got some good questions on the EV situation, the money that the post office got for the EV situation, and also vote by mail, which I love vote by mail. Many people do love vote by mail. I think it's easy. I think it makes everything better. So let's get into it. This is Tom Carpenter, Democrat out of Delaware.
Senator Carper, you're recognized for your questions.
Thanks very much, and welcome, Mr. DeJoy. Good to see you. Thank you for your being here. There's several people in the audience behind you that we've worked with in the past. It's nice to see them. One of the quotes, I don't know whose quote this is, but in adversity lies opportunity. In adversity lies opportunity. I'm always that's one of my guiding principles in life, and the adversity that's faced by the Postal Service. There are opportunities as well, and I think you're trying to seize the day on some of those. There are other, I'll say, competitors to the Postal Service who are in the package business, and they don't deliver mail, but they deliver a lot of packages. I know you guys are delivering a lot more packages as well. But some of those companies have decided over the last 5-10 years that they want to phase out their diesel engines and their gasoline engines, and but have mail delivered in vehicles that do not create carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases. They've done it. And they didn't make that conversion. Those companies didn't make the conversion because they're somehow concerned about the planet burning up, and because of environmental concerns. They did it because they felt that they could actually. There's an economic argument. They thought that they could do this, deliver their products in a more cost-effective way. I think when we passed the big postal bill a year or two ago, a couple of years ago, we tried to provide some money for the Postal Service to, as your vehicles are very old, and as you're making that transformation and modernizing your fleet, to make sure you're buying some vehicles that could be hybrids, it could be electric vehicles, to save money, and not just because it was the right thing. You're being good environmental stewards. Could you give us an update, please, on the rollout of postal vehicles, hybrids, electric vehicles, and some of the challenges you've encountered? And how is the Postal Service finding this transition, both on the economic side and on the environmental side?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. So as you said, we have over 220,000 vehicles that are over 30 years old, long exceeded their useful life. We're burning up on the street when I got here. We have committed both to ICE vehicles and electric vehicles, 106,000 vehicles that we'll be bringing into the system over the next 4 years, of which 66,000 of them will be electric vehicles. So far to date, we have acquired. Coming in this year, we'll have about 10,000 electric vehicles coming. Now, there's two sides to that. There's the vehicle itself. We have unique requirements because most of our vehicles have to be right-hand drive as opposed to left, so we can't go commercial off the shelf for many. So we bought 10,000, Ford E-Transits that are coming in, and next year we'll start receiving a high volume of our next generation delivery vehicle, which is the right-hand side vehicle, and most of those will be electric vehicles over the rest of the years. There's two sides to that. We have to build out the electric vehicle infrastructure, which is a big and long, multi-year project. And there's imbalances right now in terms of getting the commercial off-the-shelf vehicles that are specifically left-hand drive into the system. But we should be through that within the next 8 to 12 months to have those deployed. But we are moving forward as in a pretty good pace. We got the president's sustainability award for rollout of electric vehicles. We are now looking at, when originally we looked at a one-for-one charging station to vehicle relationship. We're looking to expand that. We're finding some of our routes can go 2 or 3 days without being recharged. And we're putting that into the model, and that's going to help accelerate the deployment. We're looking at clustering around some of our larger delivery units, where we have 200 and 300 charging stations for vehicles there. Doing alternate days where we have the ability to do that. So the team knew absolutely nothing about, including myself, about electric vehicles when we got here. I think we're pretty formidable, and we'll rise on that. And the other thing, I do think that in my work here and in the other environmental things that we've gone through, I do think there is I think the statistics back 20% of the people order how their packages get delivered based on the environment, and we expect that to grow, and we want to be the preferred supplier in the package delivery business for a certain size package for a certain distance. And we're paying attention to that in our marketing and in terms of our
Good for you.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to cut you off just for a moment here. Vote by mail.
Can I add one other thing?
No. I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. Thank you for your responses, and thank you for your commitment to actually doing the right thing, but also the economically smart thing. The other question I want to quickly ask: we've just come out of an election season, as we know, and people all over the country have been voting for federal, state, local candidates or against them. As it turns out, a lot of people voting by mail. And they're finding that they like it. In fact, I think a clear majority of people don't vote in person anymore. And what kind of opportunities is this provided for the Postal Service? And have we seized the day to take advantage of that?
So I didn't hear the last part. Have we done what?
Yeah. How has the Postal Service seized the day? What the voters are looking for are easy ways. They want to vote, but they don't want to go stand in line, and the Postal Service can help with that. How are we doing in that regard?
So it's an interesting, we, first of all, we perform well. We've just put out our report with 99.8% of the ballots getting, within 7 days, so on and so forth. It was less than in 2020. The voting was less than in 2020. I would say that there are opportunities to make this better, right? We have, we get to a point where where two things can be correct. We deliver 99% of the ballots on time, and you still find 1,000 ballots someplace that didn't make it. And that's a big issue. And it's not necessarily because of the Postal Service. It could be, but there's 8,000 different voting districts across the nation, across 50 states, with different rules and different types of mail pieces and different requirements. We don't say when the vote has to be in, if it gets counted and all that. And that creates a lot of ugly conversation, between, our organization and state secretaries of state and so forth. Simple accusations of something being laid on the mail process creates, a lot of emotion. So I think long term, we did an excellent job. It was a big effort on us. I think a standard mail piece would be helpful to us long term. We're looking at ways to work with the different states, the different election offices, to get into a specific contract type of basis to do that. But yes, vote by mail is here to stay. We've done a good job. Election officials have done a good job, but it's still not where it needs to be, because if we want 100% guaranteed performance, we need to do more together.
Thanks.
Yeah, so, all right, this is my thoughts on that. I thought two great questions. So, about the electronic vehicles, did you hear how he said currently the post office has over 220,000 vehicles that are over 30 years old. That's insane that we have our mail carriers in these fucking old vehicles, probably breaking down all over the place. And then I guess the EVs, I know they're being made in America, but did you also hear only 10,000 will be rolled out next year? So that's going to take a really long time to get the NG EVs out. And then like the infrastructure is not there yet with charging the EVs. This situation with the cars is going to take a long time for us to get out of. And then also, what is shocking is that I guess I never realized I didn't vote. I lived in a different state prior to where I am now, and I didn't vote there, so I never realized that all of the election mail for wherever you live, place to place, is different looking. They don't even have a uniform envelope for sending out election mail, and all of the different states have different requirements for their election mail. Probably they don't even have the same scan bars or anything like that. So that is definitely something that I don't think Mr. DeJoy can do this by himself, but Congress really should get into streamlining the packaging for the ballots, and that would make it a lot easier for them to be collected and sent out. I mean, if you're dealing with all these different rules for each election area, yikes. Got a good two good questions. So, part 5 is going to be with Senator Maggie Hassan. She is a Democrat out of New Hampshire. She is the Democratic senator in New Hampshire. That should be a good one. She'll probably have even better questions, I'm sure. Thanks for watching.